Anthropic just dropped a new Claude and the headline is money. It is called Sonnet 5 and it is built to be cheap enough that you can leave your AI workers running all day instead of rationing them. So, of course, the whole internet is asking the same question. Is it better than Opus, the expensive one? And I want to save you from that question because it is the wrong one and it will cost you. By the end of this, you will have one simple test that picks the right Claude for any job you throw at it, and stick around for the twist. There is a spot where the cheaper model quietly costs you more than the pricey one, and I will show you the exact line where it flips. Quick note on why I care about this. On this channel, I teach normal people, no code, to build little folders of plain English instructions that get Claude to do real work. And there is a room where a few hundred of us do exactly that together, figuring out things like which model to point at which job. It is called Agent Skills Academy. It is free to join, links in the description. Alright, back to it. So here is what actually landed without the benchmark charts. Sonnet 5 is the mid-priced Claude and this version got a lot smarter. On a lot of everyday knowledge work, it is basically neck and neck with Opus, the top tier one. But it runs at roughly 40% less and cheaper still until the end of August. Now, 40% of a tool you use twice a week is a shrug. But that is not who this is for. If you have built a little folder of Claude skills that runs a chunk of your work, you have probably felt yourself being careful with it, rationing the good runs because the good model is not free. Sonnet 5 is the moment you stop counting. It is cheap enough to just let your helpers run in the background all day on the boring jobs without watching the meter. Which brings us back to that question everyone's asking. Is Sonnet 5 better than Opus? You would think you just figure out which model is smarter and always grab that one. That is the instinct, and it is wrong because smarter is not a property of the model. It is a property of the job. The real question is never which Claude is better. It is what shape is the job you are handing it. Here is the picture that makes this click, and it is the only one you need. Some jobs are a straight road. Take this pile of receipts and sort them. Read these 100 reviews and tell me the 3 complaints. Turn my rough notes into a clean summary. There is a clear start, a clear finish, and basically one path between them. A good driver and a great driver get there at the same time, so you take the cheaper driver. That is Sonnet 5, but some jobs are a maze. Research this messy market, figure out where the gap is, and decide what I should do about it. Lots of turns, dead ends, moments where the worker has to stop, notice it went wrong, back up, and try another way. In a maze, a slightly sharper sense of direction saves you 10 wrong turns. That is Opus. The job is not asking who is smarter in the abstract. It is asking, is this a straight road or is this a maze? And this is the line I promised you, the one where cheap flips to expensive. Sonnet 5 has a quiet habit. It uses about 30% more words to do the same job than the older models did. On a straight road, who cares? It is still way cheaper, TD. But hand it a maze and it takes more steps, more backups, more retries to find the exit. Every one of those steps costs, so the cheaper model can take the long way around a hard job so many times that it finishes more expensive than Opus, which would have just walked in and solved it in 4 moves. Cheaper per step is not the same as cheaper per job. That is the trap, bitch. And now you can see it coming. Let me show you the easy half, so this is not just talk. This is a real folder of skills I built doing a straight road job. One sentence in, and it reads a wall of competitor pages, pulls out what matters, and hands back a clean summary. Watch the finish. Alright, that is the shape. Clear start, clear end, one lane. This is exactly the kind of job you now hand to Sonnet 5 and just let run over and over without thinking about cost. There was a real engineer at Zapier who put it well after the launch. A 2-part job that used to stall halfway, updating records, then sending the announcements, finally ran all the way through on its own. Straight road, cheap driver, done. So here is the whole thing on one card. And it keeps working long after these particular model names are old news. Before you pick a model, ask one question. Is this job a straight line or a maze? Straight line, one clear path, you want cheap and you want to run it 100 times. That is your sonnet. A maze, lots of judgment, lots of turning back. That is where you pay for the sharper one and it pays you back by not getting lost. You stop chasing whichever model was on the news this week and you start matching the model to the shape of the work. And that is the move nobody in the comments is making. Two honest things before you go. First, these prices are today's prices and Anthropic moves them around, so treat the straight road or maze rule as the keeper and let the exact numbers age out. Second, none of this runs itself. You are still the one who reads the output and decides it is good before it goes anywhere near a customer. The model drives. You own where it is going. So you did not just learn a new model today. You learned to stop asking which AI is best and start asking what your job actually needs, which is the thing that keeps working long after Sonnet 6 shows up. If you want to figure this stuff out with people running the same little folders you are, comment Sonnet and I will point you to the room. It is the free group I mentioned, Agent Skills Academy, and this week a bunch of us are moving our everyday jobs onto the cheaper model and comparing notes. Come test your own straight road jobs with us.